My name is Hannes van Zyl. I'm currently the CIO at Hawkins. Success in my book is measured by what your customers think of you. You can put whatever measurements you want on it at the end of the day, but the customer will determine whether you're successful or not. So therefore, understanding what the customer wants, how he wants it delivered, and what their success criteria is absolutely fundamental. My approach to digital is enabling the workforce to work seamlessly, whether they're at home or at work, because you get the best out of them at the end of the day. My take on digital, everything is digital, so what we have done, for instance, at Hawkins, is put everything in a digital format, whether that be your Office 365, your email, your documents, your telecommunication capability, your unified communications, everything is digital, to the point where you can work from anywhere in the world as if you're sitting at your desk, provided you got a decent internet connection. I think a lot of people are still grappling with this whole digital thing. What is it? What does it mean? How does it play out? So I would hope that I'm not unique in my stance of what I see digital to be. Because it's a way of life, it's a way of transacting, it's how your customers want to deal with you and what they're used to dealing with. When I started at Hawkins, they had not invested in technology for probably 10 to 15 years. So what I got was really broken. There was nothing of value within the IT component that I could actually build anything on. So I had to start from scratch. So I was really lucky in that I could start with a clean slate. So what we did, initially we had 2 Active Directory domains, and they weren't mirror images of each other. So if one of them went down, we had no idea which one came up. So it started at that level, really fundamental level, and we had to rebuild it from there. We chose a cloud vendor and we put everything in Azure, the Microsoft Azure cloud. So we started off with Active Directory, and then it was Office 365, then SharePoint, then CRM. The only legacy piece of equipment, which was our finance system, still running on an old AS400, we managed to convince the vendor to set up their own cloud so that we could use it as a consumption-based model, software as a service. And quite recently, we have taken all the file shares, where you normally store your documents. We've put that into Enterprise Dropbox. So as of the end of next month, end of this month, end of April, we will be completely data center free. Everything within Hawkins will be on the cloud. We won't have a data center. There's not many people that can tell you that story. Specific examples of cost saving. We have just finished a project called Clarity, which is a business intelligence project. One of our biggest problems was that by the time we managed to get our month-end reports out, it was between 4 and 6 weeks after the end of the month. And by that time, the information is that old and out of date that you can't do anything to enact a change or to rectify a problem within the project. So what we did in the end was to transform that whole reporting mechanism by putting business intelligence in on Microsoft Power BI. And that will give us dashboards and reporting on a near real-time basis, to the point where finances, health and safety, risk, the whole programming, how people do project management, all of that information will come through on dashboards and on drill downs, so you can immediately see where a problem is, and the information is, in most cases, will be refreshed up to 3 times per day. So what does that do for the company? I can't give you a number, but the gut feel is that it's multi-millions of dollars, because you can rescue projects that go off track early, so you don't end up with multi-million-dollar lawsuits and or rectifying energy that needs to be put in to try and fix a problem that's gone off the track. Some of the other low-lying fruit was when we first started at the company, we went and looked at the telco contracts and the printing contracts, for instance, and managed to save in the order of about $2 million per annum just by focusing and or turning it into a much more competitive situation. So huge savings within the business. The fact that we can work from anywhere at any time throughout day and night, anywhere in the world, saves a huge amount of money because it gives people the ability through mobility to now have information at their fingertips wherever they are, whenever they are, and they can get those alerts coming through immediately when things go out of parameter. Because digital is such a thrown around term and nobody really has a definition around it, a lot of people don't quite know where to start. And there's a lot of what's called the FUD factor, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And the vendors are very good at spreading those because they don't necessarily want you to go digital and or cloud because they lose a lot of revenue. They want to put their kit into your organization. So there's a lot of muddiness around this whole cloud thing. I think fear of the unknown is a big one. People, one, not knowing where to start, but also not quite sure what that's going to do. And typically, technical people want to touch and feel and play with boxes at the end of the day. The more you can disconnect them from the actual physical stuff, the more you can get them to focus on where the real business problems are and solve those. My speciality seems to be take a company that may be struggling and with the help of the CEO, turn that whole company around. My focus is on transformation, looking at the areas where the business may be not operating totally efficiently, where there's bottlenecks, where there's problems, coming up with solutions that are outside the box, matching technology with business problems to create a fix and or a solution that turns the company around.